So today we have a lovely brick of Pathfinder Darklands Rising. Let's see how we do with this one. Now, right away we're getting one of the miniatures that I was looking forward to. This is, of course, the Mammoth miniature, but it does have the little rider on there. I was looking and I was hoping we would get the one without the rider on there. But this would still be useful. And the rider isn't a horrible sculpt or anything, so that's interesting. Kenku Bard. Some lovely Paragon stuff here. It's very nice, brightly colored. I like that miniature. And we got a deep gnome. Nice NPC miniature there. This is a forest giant, I believe. Or a wood giant, sorry. Not a bad sculpt. Definitely an interesting large style creature. A pretty good sculpt. Never remembered how this is the Lacruta? It's a lovely monster miniature here. I like the sculpt. It's got a bendy tail that is not going to break off easily, which is nice. And it's got a nice little bit of terrain on a clear base. Just like that. Got another Kenku. Not unhappy about that. And we have, I believe this is just a drow. The Pathfinder version of the drow. A rogue. A drow rogue. And I will give a close-up shot of all of these at the end of the video. This is a Pathfinder Cavern Troll. So a nice little pearlescent paint job on the spikes. I like the sculpting on the expression. That looks pretty cool. I like that. So obviously a Cavern Troll. Very nice. Ooh, is this a red mist? This is what they call a blood mist. So this is what they call a blood mist. And I believe this might be similar to a red mist. Obviously you can use this for a red mist. This is the horrific undead monster that a vampire could potentially turn into. I'm not sure what it is when it comes to Pathfinder stuff. Oh, we got a lovely... Oh, I like this. This is obviously a Pathfinder octopus-style monster. But, yeah, very nice. Obviously useful for a mutated octopus-type dealio. You got me. I have no idea what the heck this is supposed to represent. It's a small miniature. It's a weird-looking miniature. I have no idea what this is. Scavling? But this, to me, is some sort of bat creature. Which is a very nice sculpt. I love the, I like the sculpting on the wings. Very... Got this tongue sticking out. Obviously, this would be very good for some sort of Ravenloft monster like this. I don't know what a Scavling is. Again, this is all Pathfinder stuff, and I have no idea about most Pathfinder stuff. Oh, and we have the big old toad, which is listed as a giant toad. But you know what? This would make a very nice, evil, mutated devil toad or something like this. This looks a lot nicer in person than it did with the 3D render. The 3D render made this look a little bit more generic, but when you see it in person, it actually looks... You can tell it looks a lot more like malformed, because obviously if you have like just a toad toy from various educational sets or whatnot, you could use those for giant toads. But this one definitely looks malformed and just weird. I'm very happy I got that one. That's a very nice pull. It's a giant toad. Kind of looks like a mechanical NPC, something like that. An interesting mix of translucent and some metallic paint on there. Got no clue. Might have a use for that, but whatever signature Pathfinder monster that is, I have no clue. Ooh, and we have a lovely fish miniature. What sort of fish miniature this is supposed to represent in Pathfinder, but it is a very nice... I could find a million uses for something like this. Just the jumping out of the water, translucent effects. This is the kind of stuff I'd like to craft a little bit more. And I think I will have to get into using the UV cured resin to be able to get an effect like this. And that looks really nice. So again, a common miniature, but it's one that has, I can think of a lot of uses for that miniature. Not exactly sure, but obviously could be used to represent a lot of things. In D&D, some sort of fey creature. Would 100% understand what the heck this miniature is, but man, some translucent metallic effects. Oh, and we have another deep gnome, which is it's not too bad. Perhaps a little bit wonky with the staff, but I think the staff spear is supposed to be wonky, like a makeshift spear made out of a twig. But yeah, this could be a nice little NPC hireling, a guide, a sidekick maybe. I like the little half-moon shield and the makeshift spear. I like this one. Pathfinder-specific plant walker, but this could be used for a number of things in D&D. Awakened tree, perhaps something to do with the Feywild. Where's this one? This is a arboreal regent. So some sort of plant king type scenario. It's a nice miniature, a huge miniature. And the sculpting on the leaves is not particularly great. I'm not sure if these are leaves. It's probably more like some sort of fungal thing. But the sculpting on the tree-like body and the feet is very nice. So yeah, that is very nice. That could definitely be used for a lot of things. I have no idea what the name of this creature is. But it is clearly some sort of swamp creature. A very nice sculpt. Paint job is very simple, but you know what? You can always touch up with maybe with a little bit of dry brushing. The mouth is well done enough. Yeah, so this is nice. And as you can clearly see, it was not glued properly to its pegs and came off, but that can be easily fixed with a little bit of super glue. So just the fish miniature, which could be used so many ways, so many places. Very nice. I like that a lot. Happy that I got that miniature there. Oh, and we have the psychedelic stag beetle miniature that we saw there. Very nice. I actually like this one. It's a little bit more common because obviously you can find stag beetles and like that easily enough. But yeah. Oh, we have this little slime. This is a jelly. This is an amoeba, actually. A giant amoeba. Much nicer. Had the translucent quality if it hadn't been quite so cloudy. This is nice, but it probably would have been nicer if it would have been just a tiny bit less cloudy. But, I mean, that's going to look good on the table, so happy I got that one. It's this massive, huge, with the massive translucent web arcing around the miniature. Some translucent dripping effects coming from its claws. The base on this is unfortunately, a little bit wonky. So I think I might be able to fix that, though, so that should be okay. But, yeah, no, that's some very interesting... this is, I think, a very nice, huge miniature to get in this set. What else do we got? Oh, we have a lovely scarecrow. But not just the traditional scarecrow. This is actually a pumpkin-headed scarecrow, which is definitely a notch up from your normal scarecrows. And this one is clearly very much a more spooky pose, with the arms outstretched. And this is definitely like a wizard scarecrow of some sort with the pumpkin head. It is slightly translucent, so that's why you can't really see the face on it. But this looks a lot nicer in person than it probably does on video. We have another Pathfinder persona, who I'm not quite sure. But this could be, if somebody wanted this for perhaps a drow antagonist, or perhaps some sort of PC, an evil druid, perhaps, with the thorn whip. And it's another deep gnome. A lovely little deep gnome here. Perhaps scouting, perhaps lying in ambush for something. Oh, look how big that is! I was interested in getting this miniature. This here is a massive miniature. Before we take a look at that giant guy there, let's take a look at some of these. And we did pick up a leprechaun. Hi-ho. I've never owned a leprechaun miniature before. Perhaps a quest giver, perhaps an antagonist. Who knows? Two-handed weapons, kind of like a pale, face-painted. A lot of detail on the armor and clothes, which is very nice. Definitely show that off a little bit more in the end. And we have another gnome. This one specifically labeled as a gnome scout, but it is the exact same sculpt as the deep gnome. So I think they figured they can get some dual purpose out of that, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. I understand the need to try to maximize your profits when you're doing miniatures like this, so I don't feel too awful bad about this. But this is a different coloration of the miniature that I already got. I do like the pose. The pose is pretty cool, so this could definitely be used for various scenarios, so I'm not complaining. But now we have, look at this. This thing is so much more massive than you would expect. Look at that. It's just a big old chunk of... And the thing that I like about this miniature is that there's multiple large amounts of, the translucent stuff. So there's the smoke boiling out, but then there's also the multiple bits of thing there. I don't think that shows through. I don't think that's hollow. 1 second while I get a flashlight here. My name is the Craftsman. Flashlight. So we're going to see if this thing's hollow, which I don't think it is, but I'm going to check. Nope, it is not hollow. Though, the top of it is. So you could maybe figure out how to finagle this around and get an LED in there to light up the top of it, but the bottom is not. The legs are, though. The legs actually seem to be made of translucent plastic, but the middle of it is obviously some sort of... It's not so... You could maybe figure out a way to get some lights in the legs and the head, maybe? But, I mean, even without it, I mean, heck. I mean, this is one of those miniatures where you look at the renders and stuff, and you just don't understand the scale of how big this is. It's just... I'll just show you real quick here. I'll introduce some things, but look how much... And this is clearly a massive, huge miniature. This is impressive looking, and it's just very... It's an interesting sculpt. This could obviously be used for many generic things. Let's compare briefly the Hasbro Juggernaut, the Iron Juggernaut here, in one of their last sets they ever made. And then compare it to this. I mean, you can see both of these have the exact same huge bases, but clearly the newer one from this, the Darklands Pathfinder set, I mean, this one clearly is using the real estate for as much as it possibly can. I mean, and the difference when put on the table is just amazing. So, super happy I got this one. So, as is becoming very common with these Wizkids releases, I didn't pay MSRP for this brick, but I did feel I did get my money's worth. And as always, it's a little bit hit or miss. I think that some of the medium miniatures are becoming very nice, and I was very happy with a lot of them that I got in this set. But some of them still have the muddy details and bad paint jobs. I'm just not sure if Wizkids is going to be able to come up with a better way of doing things. These fish are very reminiscent of the old Hasbro medium miniatures, where there is a simple paint job, but they look good. And as always, the larger miniatures are definitely my favorites, just because I think that their production process really does favor these sorts of miniatures. So again, I can't justify buying this set at MSRP. Most stores don't sell it at MSRP. So we will have to see. I do enjoy the amount of translucent plastic that I've been seeing in these sets. That's just one of those things that you can do on a mass production scale, but is actually very hard for smaller companies to do, and it's very difficult to do yourself with crafting. Just because, you know, generally you're going to be using some sort of translucent resin and stuff. But I am discounting 3D printing, which that might be the key. When 3D printing becomes more prolific, then we really got to consider, like, well, why are we still buying Wizkids stuff? And I don't have an answer for that, especially if somehow we can get pre-painted stuff. Because that's the kicker, folks. No one has been able to figure out the pre-painted thing. I think Hasbro did it absolutely the best. There's been smaller companies like the Dungeon Crawler miniatures that did some pre-painted stuff that looked really good, almost on par with the Hasbro stuff. But companies that attempt that are few and far between. So, I mean, I think we have what we have in terms of the pre-painted stuff right now. Perhaps another company might step up, and we'll see some more competition in this market. Reaper, once again, did a interesting attempt at pre-painted stuff back in the day. There's smaller companies that I always forget the name of that are attempting to do so now, and we'll have to see. But as of now, I will let you be the judge. I will continue to provide good footage, and I'll continue to give my unvarnished opinion about stuff, and you can make your own decisions when it comes to buying these miniatures out on the market. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful. And please, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. If you are subscribed and you love seeing my videos, make sure you ring that dumb bell, because otherwise, even though you're subscribed, you won't see it unless you hit the little notification bell. And if you want to share one of my favorite videos from this channel, that would be very helpful. It's a bit of a really rough patch right now with this sort of stuff. So, you know, if you like this channel, just do what you can to support it. And I do appreciate all the people that support the heck out of these videos. And you all have a very amazing day.
Have a great day, and as always, thank you for watching the video.